Hello, welcome back to the Creative Differences Podcast, the podcast brought to you by Black Girl Magic. I'm Dallas, and my support for Black Girl Magic did not extend to these two movies. Sorry.
I'm Gaby, and I also did not do my homework this week.
I'm Demi, and happy 1 year of Willow to all my fellow questies out there. It's been quite a year. Welcome to another episode of the Creative Differences Podcast, your one-stop shop for movie reviews, Fancast Fridays, Throwback Thursdays, and a number of other pop culture-related items. Today, I did my homework, so we will be doing a review for Renaissance, a film by Beyoncé, and Wish.
Yes, despite this episode theme of Black Girl Magic, Cassie's black ass ain't here, so call her out on that on the medias.
Yeah.
Or don't.
Also, disclaimer, there is a baby in the room. Apologies again.
Yeah.
A little half black girl. Just making all that background noise.
Oh, God.
Yes, we are on theme. But we can't tell her to be quiet because we don't silence black women here. That is not what we do. Before we get into the episode, please like, share, subscribe, blah, 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 blah. Because I want to be able to buy concerts, tickets, and I can't. That is, man. Yeah, like, share, subscribe, podcast, do it. All right, Demi, what are you starting with?
All right, we're going to start with Wish. Wish is directed by Chris Buck and Fawn Vera Sunthorn, and it's written by Jennifer Lee and Allison Moore, and it stars Ariana DeBose, Chris Pine, Alan Tudyk, and Angelique Cabral. The IMDb synopsis is a young girl named Asha wishes on a star and gets a more direct answer than she bargained for when a troublemaking star comes down from the sky to join her. Yeah, I guess that's what the movie's about. I like this movie. I didn't love it. Which makes me sad because I really wanted to love this movie.
Right.
I love Ariana DeBose. She is one of my favorite newcomers to the game right now. She is phenomenal in this movie. She does and the baby agrees with me.
Call and response.
She does a fantastic job, as does Chris Pine. I think the entire cast is doing a really, really good job. Chris Pine is ever his charismatic self as he plays this villain.
Of course.
Not the best Disney villain, but
I don't know if she disagrees with you there. Or if she agrees.
I don't know. He's certainly pulling out the Chris Pine stops.
I can see that. And Disney has some really dope villains. So, like,
it's hard,
he's got
man.
a lot of competition.
It's hard. It's a lot of competition. So for me, I really like the concept of this movie, and I like the theme of this movie. I like the idea of... So the thing is that they live in this kingdom where everybody makes, at the age of 18, everybody makes their wish to the king, and the king keeps everybody's wishes, and he chooses whether or not to grant them, and if he does grant them, he does it in a ceremony for all to see.
Oh,
Okay.
damn. So it's like a special moment.
Yeah, it's a special thing. But once you give him your wish, you don't remember what your wish was anymore. And so it's kind of like you're missing a piece of yourself.
All right, that's interesting.
Yeah, I'm like, this is a really interesting concept. I love this idea of like you're not fully yourself when you depend on somebody else to grant your wishes for you instead of trying to go after your dreams.
Right.
I really think that's a cool concept. And there are some other things in there as well, like the idea of depending so much on one person, but like also still this idea of like you can align with other people to fulfill your goals and your dreams as well.
Yeah.
But you shouldn't depend on like one particular person and give them the power over you to do these things. Like these are really good concepts. I feel like the writing wasn't up to par with what the concept was.
I can execute it, right?
I think I wanted more. I usually am not the person to say I wanted more action, but I felt like there needed to be a little bit more drama. Like I felt like it wasn't. I felt like the scenes didn't dramatize enough.
Okay.
There's a lot of dialogue going on. Alan Tudyk is playing this goat. But the goat is not as funny as I would like him to be. There's a lot of butt jokes. I'm not.
Oh, boo.
When I watched the trailer, I was like, obviously this isn't enough to really know what I'm gonna get, but it's not doing it for me.
Yeah, I was like, we got a lot of butt jokes going here, and there's like 3 that I can think of off the top of my head, and I'm like, we definitely don't need this many.
His like butt joke.
I know that they do, but we don't need this many. Not in a Disney movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also just like Disney doesn't really make movies for kids. Like they're kid friendly.
They're family
they're
movies
for everybody.
Yeah.
So it's like maybe not that. Maybe less butt jokes. I don't know.
Maybe
Throw in a
less.
couple for the kids,
Couple
and then
less.
the rest for the grown-ups. I don't know.
But the good things about it, like I said, the cast is doing an amazing job. Ariana DeBose is amazing. I love Asha. Asha's super cool. I think she's also the first Disney princess to actually have friends.
Oh.
Like actual
Interesting.
friends, not like, oh, I've got a cool little animal. No, like friends.
Like human friends.
Nice.
Yeah, she's got homies
Wow.
like that she goes to for advice and is like, yo, help me out, help me do this thing. I feel like if you're going to do a 100-year like tribute to all the Disney movies that have come before it. I feel like your Disney princess should, I don't know, maybe have a love interest, should have a Disney prince, but that's just me. I know that we're in the age of
to
like
kind of tie it to like how we've done this for so long.
Yeah, like I know that we're in the age of like not giving Disney princesses love interest, but like I feel like if you're making a tribute to all those other Disney movies, like you should
do the classics.
Do the classics.
So this is supposed
give me the tropes.
You're right. Check the boxes.
So this is supposed to be a tribute.
Yeah, I mean the whole point was that this movie was supposed to be, this is how the wishing star came to be. All these characters who have been making wishes on stars in all these Disney movies, this is how this star came to be. Which is cool. It's like I said, it's a cool concept. Chris Pine, again, charismatic as always. I really like Angelique Cabral as his wife. She does an amazing job as well.
I love her.
I
She's
love
in
her
Life in
too.
Pieces, and she's so funny.
She's so great.
She's very, very good as King Magnifico's wife.
Cool.
Natasha Rothwell is in this movie, which I did not anticipate, and I was very happy to find out. Evan Peters is in this movie, and I didn't know it until after the movie was over.
Yeah,
who did he play?
He plays a character named Simon, who is a friend of Asha's.
Oh, he's one of the friends.
Yeah, It's one of the friends. There's stuff that hits for me, stuff that misses. That's fine. I wish that there was less stuff that missed.
Fair. That's always the
A lot of people are complaining about the animation. I really like it.
The animation looks amazing.
I think it's really interesting because it's like the 3D Disney animation that we've come to get used to now in this day and age, but also mixed with like this 2D animation style to give tribute to like the fact that, you know, we all used to do 2D animation.
Right.
But like it's also super cool because like there's like when you get close up on like Asha, for instance, because Asha's got braids because she's Afro-Latina. When you get close in on her, it's like she's got that 3D that you see in like Elsa and like all those other Disney princesses, but like she has like an outline, like a penciled outline.
Yes.
And like her hair is like also 3D, but like there are like pencils like or like stroke. Yeah, there's like there are 2D strokes in her hair. And the same thing with like Magnifico's hair. Like his hair has like the 3D, you know, look, but also there are 2D strands in there. And I was just like, this is so interesting. And all the backgrounds are 2D and have like this really textured look to them. And I was like really fascinated by it. I really enjoyed the look of it. And I would love to see Disney do more of it, maybe experiment more with the look of it. I know a lot of people thought it was weird, and I'm like, maybe it's just because Disney hasn't done anything weird with their animation in a very long time.
Right.
I feel like Spider-Verse has sort of conditioned us to be okay with sort of weirder animation.
Except that most people don't like this, so
that's wild because it's great.
Or at least a lot of the complaints I've seen is that they don't like this.
No,
I like it a lot. I think it looks really interesting.
I feel like have fun with the animation. It doesn't have to be perfect 3D.
Especially after seeing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, where all the humans are ugly. So
I love what they did. It's like I love hate it. It's like, man, it's ugly, but I get why.
Seeing that movie in theaters, my brother leaned over to me. He was like, "Why are all the humans ugly? Why they look like that?" Like, yeah, they're all ugly.
I can't wait to see that movie.
Oh my god, you haven't seen that movie?
I haven't seen it. I've only seen the bacon, egg, and cheese scene.
Bacon, egg, and cheese.
Gonna get a bacon, egg, and cheese.
Oh, it's yeah. But anyway, animation, I thought it looked really good. I thought it was really interesting. I would love to see Disney experiment more with it and play with that a little bit more. I think the music, like there are some bops in here. Like every time a song would come on, I was like, I'm jamming to this. This is dope. For your 100-year anniversary, I think some of it kind of falls short. Like this is our 100-year tribute. And I'm like, none of these songs are hitting like a 100-year tribute song except for maybe This Wish, which is the I Want song.
Sounds like it.
But I could be biased because I've been waiting for this song to come out for like a year. And I love Ariana DeBose's voice, and I really enjoy that song. I thought they did a wonderful job with it. But I mean, if you're not having anticipations of like that stature of oh, it's a 100-year celebration, like the songs are cool.
Yeah,
they're dope. I like the villain song. I've heard that people don't like it. I like it. I think it's catchy. But also, it's very much a narcissist song. And I'm about it. I like it a lot. I thought Chris Pine was doing his thing on it. There's a song that Asha and Magnifico sing together early on in the film about wishes and about how they'll protect these dreams and these wishes that I thought was very sweet. I think some of them might be a little forgettable. I did like the song in the forest, though, that all the animals were singing. That's another thing about this movie. There are certain things that happen in this movie where I'm like, I don't know why this is a decision we made, but all right, cool. Like animals singing in the forest. But I was like, I like that song a lot. I thought that was an interesting song about basically how like we're all made of like the same stardust and stuff like that. And I thought that was really sweet. I think the music is good. It's cool. I don't know how memorable these songs will be in the long run when it comes to Disney. I do love This Wish though.
Okay.
So yeah.
Does Alan Tudyk sing in his Clayface voice?
No.
Boo.
So I don't know why he chose to use that exact voice for this movie.
Yeah.
It was very distracting watching the trailer.
He was like the audiences that watch Harley Quinn and Disney
Right.
movies are two separate circles.
They are not.
They are not.
Maybe I'll get the Harley Quinn audience.
They are not. The star is very cute.
It looks pretty cute.
And
It looks adorable.
it's very silly. This movie is very silly at times.
I can see
That's
that.
what it is. It's very silly at times. But I do appreciate Disney like going for like the real big ideals
Mhm.
type of stories because I love those so much. I love stories about dreams and love and big ideas that are not tangible.
But to me, they should be focused on entertaining.
I
not
know, I was about to
messages.
make that comment, but they should be focused on entertaining.
You can't put messages in the movie. That's the problem. So Disney Bob said they should do.
Anyway, I'm so sorry for all the artists out there who are being told that your
Shut up and
art-
draw.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Shut up and draw, shut up and act, shut up and write.
Stick
Like,
to the status quo. No.
no. Anyway, so my opinion is if you have kids, they will probably enjoy it. There were some kids in my theater who sounded like they were really much enjoying the movie.
Love that.
If you're a Disney fan, you might like it. You might be a fan of looking for the Easter eggs. Overall, it's a mixed bag for me.
Okay.
I like some of it. I don't even like dislike pieces of it. It's more like I'm just like indifferent.
Right. They
It's
just don't really hit.
Yeah, they're just like, that's not really hitting for me as much as I'd like it to. But
Be like that sometimes.
yeah, but it's like, but I like this thing and I like this thing and I like this thing. So yeah, it's cool.
Nice.
It's cool.
That
If you're
works.
interested, check it out. Go see it. Next up on the list, we have Renaissance, a film by Beyoncé, directed and written by Beyoncé, starring Beyonce. But it also features Megan Thee Stallion, Kendrick Lamar, and
Hey.
Blue Ivy Carter. The IMDb summary is Beyonce in performance at her record-breaking Renaissance World Tour and the creative mastermind behind it. That's actually a very good summary of what's happening here, because when I went into this film, I did not anticipate that there would be such a big behind-the-scenes look at the tour,
Oh.
which is cool, which is interesting because we had talked about during the Taylor also. Sorry, Beyonce fans, we will not be spending as much time on this as we did on the Taylor Swift tour because it's just me by myself.
I'm so sorry.
Sounds like anti-blackness to me.
It's not my fault. It's not my fault. I did my job.
You did do your job, and I didn't care. Gabby, you let the fans down.
I was on peak shift, guys. There was no way to watch
Gabby
it
had
for
to
me.
work. Anyway, because we had talked about during the Taylor Swift tour, like Gabby really appreciated that it was just the tour and nothing else.
Yep.
Right.
Beyonce's is nah.
Right.
Y'all are gonna get a look behind the curtain, and I really appreciated like the reasoning that she gave behind it is that she really loves the artistry of the process, and she wants people to see that process. She wants to see people do the work and see how much work goes into it, and like to the point where like she has her crew members wearing like these reflective outfits so that you can see them on stage while they're working, which I thought was fascinating. But also me as a person who is used to being behind the camera and tries to avoid being noticed when I'm doing my job. Oh my gosh.
You're like, nah, not for me.
Ah. But I mean, if that's what you
You're
want me to
like,
do, fine. But
I don't want to be perceived.
I don't want to be perceived while I'm doing my job, but Beyonce wants you to be perceived while doing your job so that you can be appreciated for the work that you're doing so people can see how much work is going into it. And there is a lot going into it, not just the amount of crew behind the scenes, but just the amount of stuff that Beyonce is doing behind the scenes.
Right.
Like, she's directing everything. Like, all these ideas are hers, and like, you know, and I delegate them obviously to the right people to do the job.
Right.
But like, there's a scene of her singing and rehearsing, like doing a particular song, and like you're watching her eyes as they're moving, and then she'll stop in the middle of singing. Music's still going. She'll stop in the middle of singing and be like, yeah, can we actually have that light come down to here and move that light over there? And just like,
She has a lot of creative control.
it's like you can tell that this woman has 27 years of experience under her belt because she knows everything.
Yeah.
Like, and she points it out in the documentary too. She's just like, I feel like I'm fighting against people who are constantly trying to BS me until they finally realize that they can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
So they'll be like, there's like even clips of people being like, oh, you know, there's not a track big enough for this radius. And she's like, really? Well, I just did some research and I found this 30-foot radius track and that should be enough. And it's just like, oh my God. Like she knows and does everything.
Right.
And so then you're watching the show alongside that. And like me as an artist, I'm just like, I can't imagine I understand the perfectionism that comes with it. And like when you have these ideas and like how you want them to be great and you want people to witness the greatness of them and they have to be like at a certain level and a certain standard. And like just seeing the standard at which Beyonce is performing at and creating at, I'm just like, I don't know how you do it. And I can only admire and aspire to be as like up to par at your standard in my field as you are in yours.
Right.
Wow.
Like, I'm like so impressed. And that's the one thing, like, I've never been one to say that, like, I'm a Beyonce fan. I like Beyonce. I do. Like, I like her music. I've been listening to her for a long time, probably since 97 when she first started doing music. But I'm not part of the Beehive. You know, I went to go watch this Niger concert and, you know, have a good time. But,
Not part of the swarm.
I'm not part of the swarm. But I've always been somebody who can admire, like, her artistic ability. I watch this and I go, there's a reason why when people go, oh, who's the next Michael Jackson? People go, Beyonce. And I'm like, well, here's the thing. There's never going to be another Michael Jackson. It's not happening. Sorry, guys. It's not possible. But there's also not going to be another Beyonce.
Right.
Yeah.
There's no way. Just watching this, I'm just like, there's nobody, like, she's at the top of her game. There's nobody at this level.
Yeah.
Nobody's doing
no
it
one,
like this.
No one touches her. I don't think anybody else has as much creative control as she has. Like,
I
she
feel like
has
there
control
are
over
some artists out
everything.
there that do, but very, very, very rare few.
Yeah. Nobody can have their fingers in as many things and call the shots on as many things as she can.
Yeah. And then also they give you like a look at how she also is raising her kids in the midst of all this because they're going on tour with her too.
How many kids is she have?
3.
Oh, wow.
Blue Ivy, Rumi, and Sir. And all 3 of them are in the movie. Blue Ivy's amazing.
Dude, she's such a good dancer. I mean, she's been in dance lessons forever, but
Well, they also go into that whole thing as to how that came about her being in the show because she was only supposed to be in one show.
oh.
And then apparently she got her eyes on some negative criticism that Beyonce was like she never should have seen. But then Blue Ivy was inspired to just do better and keep doing it until she was like super
And
good at it.
You could tell the difference between her first show and her last show, like the level of confidence and like how her grasp of the choreography, or not grasp, but like you could tell she'd
been practicing.
Yeah. And like she put in a little bit more like of herself into it too.
Yeah.
So it was just the comfort level. I mean, just from clips I've seen on like.
Yeah, the film goes into like that entire process, like how that all worked out and how that happened. One of my favorite moments with Blue Ivy, though, Beyonce is in a meeting talking about whether or not she's going to remove Diva from the set list. And she's like, yeah, I don't know if we have time to do it. Like, we could do like maybe an excerpt or maybe we should just cut it completely. And Blue was like, no, you can't cut Diva. And like, Beyonce's like, sweetie, people are talking. I need you to calm down. Like, Beyonce's being a mom.
Yeah.
And like, Blue Ivy's like, but you can't remove Diva. And just like, it's a whole thing.
Yeah.
And then we watch Beyonce perform Diva. And it's just like, it's so good. It's so good. And then on top of that, like, you know, the performance stuff is obviously amazing because it's Beyonce. But also, when we saw the Taylor Swift one, we talked about how that was at SoFi and how it was LA. So, yo, LA, what's up?
Yeah.
The Beyonce concert is basically like a bunch of different places.
Ooh.
Okay.
It is. And shout out to whoever edited this, to the sound mixers, everybody involved in doing that, because trying to piece together a live performance, but it's several different live performances in different locations, and she's got different outfits on for most of them. Like, she doesn't wear the same outfit for every performance.
No, she doesn't. I know, because I was keeping track of it.
And I was sitting there just like, this is extraordinary that you've put this together in such a short amount of time, mind you. It's very well put together.
The Schiaparelli outfits. I think that's the way that designer's called.
I don't know.
But she went from Mugler outfits to this other designer, and it's just beautiful and amazing.
But like, it's also really cool because you get to see like how she's performing in different outfits and like how those, you know, performances might change. Or like, you know, sometimes she might be wearing sunglasses, sometimes she might not be. And like, sometimes she's wearing this dress, sometimes she's not. Sometimes she's wearing a leotard, sometimes she's not. Like, it's just, it's so interesting and fascinating. You get to see like all the artistic aspects of it. And then like to see the audience also like be so in tune with the energy and giving their energy to her and her giving her energy back to them. It's so interesting. What I've liked about the Taylor Swift and the Beyonce concert tours is that you get to see that these are two women who like they have so much attention on them all the time, and they could be really egotistical about it and real cocky and real like narcissistic, but they seem to be very humbled by the fact that this is what they get to do for a living, and that they're just very passionate about their art and getting to do their art, and they acknowledge that they would not be able to do it without all these people who are in the audience like celebrating their music with them. And I really appreciate that. Renaissance was one of my favorite albums of last year, just because I liked how happy it was, because I was going through a lot.
It was fun.
Yeah.
So it was a really nice album to just listen to, and it was upbeat all the way through basically, and I was having a good time, and like, you want to dance to it? Yo, Cuff It comes on this tour, and it's a wrap for me. I'm like, yes, let's go. Just whole vibe change for me throughout the rest of the thing, because Cuff It is my song. That was my favorite song of last year.
Nice.
This feels like a celebration of blackness, of femininity, even of queerness, because the Renaissance album is based in house music, which was created in the queer community. So a lot of it is a celebration of queerness. There are queer dancers who are voguing and doing that art form on stage, and they talk about that as well. Also, how all three of those things, blackness, femininity, queerness, how all of those things have impacted pop culture in the way that it does, including the way that it's impacted Renaissance, this thing that she has created itself. So I think that's really fascinating as well. Yeah, overall, it's such a good like concert movie, but it's also a really good documentary at the same time.
Right.
I feel like a lot of people look at Beyonce and they're just like, oh, all she does is sing. Like,
no, there's no way.
She sings and she dances and she does it really well. Why do we praise her for that? But like, when you watch this, it's just like, you see how much work that she puts into it, and how much passion and like how much intelligence that she brings to it as well. And it's just like, no, she's not just singing and dancing, bro. She's doing so much, and she's doing a lot of it to put on a great show and do it consistently for months and months at a time.
Yeah.
And then she has to do it with a family on top of it. Like, she has to try and be a normal mom too. I thought that was cool. It was very interesting, a lot of insight into her, as well as like her family life, her professional life. And I think they just did a great job, especially considering the tour ended like, what, 2-3 months ago? It hasn't been done for very, very long. She was on tour over the summer. Yeah. So they put this together in a very, very quick amount of time.
Fast turnaround.
Fast turnaround for something that is so astoundingly good.
Yeah.
I love concert films. I mentioned it last time when we were reviewing the Taylor Swift concert. If we are going to continue to do concert films, I hope that they are at this level, because both her and Taylor put out really, really good concert films. Yeah. Like, we did high level tours, and now we are putting out like really well made tour films to go with it. I want that to continue, and I would definitely keep going to see them in IMAX. I saw Beyonce's in IMAX as well.
Nice.
Audience energy was different. Might be because it's a more mature crowd for Beyonce.
Oh.
Because not a lot of people getting up and dancing and stuff like that. Still a lot of people pulling out their phones and recording and stuff, which is fine. There was one song where she was having the audience clap, and the two girls next to me started clapping, and the guy on the other side of me was clapping, so I joined in with them. And the girl next to me was like, hey, we at the concert. The guy next to me had his fan with him. And so he did his fan flapping with the audience at times. And so the girl next to me was like, oh my gosh, he brought his fan. Yes. Like, it was a lot of fun. But
was there a lot of people there for this one?
Yeah, not as many as Taylor's. But I also don't know if that was maybe the showtime that I went to. But I did go to like the earliest showtime that I could go to on a Thursday night.
Yeah.
So it could be.
I feel like 8 p.m. on Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah, I feel like the rest of this weekend might be a little bit more. This felt like a lot more mature audience that I was in this summer.
Yeah.
So nobody did the Midsommar Ring Around the Rosie?
No.
No, that was...
None of that is involved or required.
I don't think that would have happened for Beyonce. Like, that's not the vibe.
No, but you might get up and twerk.
Yeah.
And that didn't happen.
Or like getting up and like clapping in your seat, or like enjoying things from your seat, I feel like probably.
When you say clapping.
Both.
Got it.
Man, I mean, but you're not wrong, because it's dance music. Like, it's house. Like,
it was so good, man. Like, the music,
I can't wait to see it.
Like I was saying, like, I like Beyonce. I didn't even realize how much I liked Beyonce until I was in the audience, like, singing a lot of the songs.
I wish I'd gone to this concert. I went to her last 2 tours, and it was like amazing. But scoring tickets for these was damn near impossible.
But yeah, no, they were like, she would like sing songs, and I was like, I didn't realize that I had even listened to Renaissance this much to even know as many songs as I do, or like even like older songs.
Yeah,
like,
she does her hits. She does.
Oh my gosh, when she did like a medley of like, it was like Diva to Single Ladies to My Power.
Ooh.
I like that one.
And I was like, yo, my power is when Blue Ivy comes out.
Nice.
Ooh,
I like that song.
Yeah, Gabby, I can't wait for you to go see it because I think you'll really enjoy it. But yeah, that is Renaissance, a film by Beyonce. It's really good. I've liked all of the films that Beyonce has made so far. Black is King is amazing. I don't think I'm not part of the Beehive.
I feel like
because you guys are because they're so serious about theirs, and I can't be that serious about it. I can't. I'm not that intense.
I'm sorry. You're not that intense to me.
Not about that.
Not about Beyonce.
Okay.
I really like Beyonce a lot, but also like I also went as like in honor of my mom's birthday because my mom really liked Beyonce, and I listened to like the first few Beyonce albums a lot as a kid because my mom used to play them a lot in the car.
Oh.
So I was like, this is a good way to spend my mom's birthday is by going to see Beyonce. But yeah, it was really good. Again, if you like concert films, go see it. If you respect artistry, go see it. If you don't like Beyonce, at the same thing I said with Taylor Swift, even if you don't like Beyonce, I'm going to recommend it just for the artistry, just so that you can understand how much work she's putting into it.
I feel like these two concert films, if you should go see them.
Just go. Just go. Anyway, that is my review of Renaissance. This is another concert film that I can't wait to be physically released, hopefully.
Yeah. Oof. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't want the documentary from Taylor. I did want it from Beyonce. I want to know the process. Like, I want to see the dance. Like, I want to see your rehearsals. I want to see like the samples of clothing that you put. Like, I want to see the different designers that you work with. Because also, depending on where she was and what day it was, Beyonce had different designers. I believe I can't remember what show it was and if it was a holiday or a specific date, but she had one show where it was like all black designers. Only black designers is what she wore that night. Like getting into the stadium, out of the stadium, and then all of her outfits in the show, which is black designers.
This just reminded me. There's also a special appearance by Diana Ross. Okay.
Oh my God. Anyway, so like I want to know what thoughts behind it. Yes, but Taylor, like, I heard the show is 4 hours. Give me the show, and I only want the show. You don't have to tell me anything else.
I was curious as to what songs were like removed from the Beyonce like concert film.
Were any removed?
I would assume so. I don't.
How long was it?
It's a 3-hour movie, but like a third of it at the very least is documentary stuff. So
okay,
there's a lot
I'm
of
just
doc
like wondering
stuff.
how long her show is,
man.
Because I didn't know how long Beyonce's show was.
Funny enough, Cuff It being probably my favorite Beyonce song ever, has my favorite intro into the song too in the tour, because it's like she's brainstorming like musical ideas for going into the song to start it off with. And after she gives the idea, she looks at the guy who's doing the behind the scenes videography, and she looked at him and she's like, it's a good thing you're recording, because I was not going to remember any of that. And I, as somebody who has done behind the scenes videography, I was like, if Beyonce said that to me while I was filming, bro,
Yeah,
like,
it's your life.
like because as a videographer, you're not like, you're recording just to record. You don't know what's going to be important later.
Right. You're
like,
trying to get everything.
You figure that out later.
Yeah.
But like to have like the artist look at
Literally
you and go,
be like, that was very important.
like, thank God you're recording, because I wasn't going to remember any of that. Wow, thank you. Wow.
Right.
I would feel honored. Anyway, what you been watching, guys?
What you been watching? It's been so long since we did one of these.
Oh man, I forgot to even set up for mine. But Dallas, start us off.
Yes, I gotta go back to like what I was watching during the strike when we weren't talking about nothing. So I finished season 2 of This Fool on Hulu.
Oh my God, how is it?
Have you seen it yet?
No.
Oh my God, it's so God. So it's created by Chris Estrada, Pat Bishop, Matt Ingebretson, and Jake Wiseman, and stars Chris Estrada, Frankie Quinones, Michael Imperioli, and Michelle Ortiz. IMDb summary. I was reading it earlier off mic, and I told Demi I can't wait to read this IMDb summary on the podcast.
Oh Lord, here we go.
A punk-ass bitch with a heart of gold goes out of his way to help everyone but himself. That is literally what this show put on IMDb for their summary.
It's not wrong.
Yes, it is. Julio sucks.
I mean,
and that's the thing is oftentimes the IMDb summary will be for whatever the first season is, and then as the show changes, they don't change it.
Yeah.
And I know that we're in a place now with comedy shows where if it's weird, it's popular to compare it to Atlanta.
Yeah.
Because Atlanta changed the game.
Yeah.
But I will say it reminds me of Atlanta because it reminds me of Atlanta and Rami in the way that the protagonist sucks as the first season goes on, we realize the protagonist sucks. But then in later seasons, they don't have to act like he doesn't. So in season 2, Julio is just a train wreck from the beginning.
Wow.
It's essentially a show just about a bunch of train wrecks, but it's so stupid and funny. Every episode, I go through the same thought of, this is so stupid. I love it. They write dumb jokes in a way that's not dumb. They can write a dick joke in a way that feels clever. A dude says, temptation is a pulsing python that looms betwixt my thighs. And it's like, I'm sorry? And his whole thing is like, yeah, I have a large penis. I'm not going to use it for like OnlyFans or whatever, because for some reason, one of the main characters has an OnlyFans. And it's like a major plot point.
Oh, God.
Do you remember in season 1 toward the end when one of the characters almost got in like a cuckold situation with that rich couple?
I thought he did.
He couldn't because his dick was too big. So the way he starts his OnlyFans is, are you pervs ready to see a salami so big it's destroyed lives, including my own? And that's how we're reintroduced to that character this season.
Oh, I love that.
They do the most ridiculous things. And I love it. Like
lives, including my own.
The first episode, a race war almost starts in the neighborhood because this old Hispanic man has a rooster that keeps everybody up. And they have like a town hall in his house. And the black dude is like, yo, man, I'm going to get that rooster. The older Hispanic dude is like, you get my rooster, I'm going to kill your dog. And he was like, my people going to have to mess up some of your people. Then there's going to be a race war. And Mr. Chin going to have to pick a side. Don't put Mr. Chin in that position. And there's one Asian man in the house just looking terrified.
Don't put Mr. Chen in that position.
Don't put Mr. Chin in that position. It's so like, it's ridiculous, but it's so funny. Hulu just becomes like more insecure, but also more arrogant somehow. Like he's talking to his cousin, Luis.
Is that the one that got out of jail?
Yeah, the one that got out of jail. And at some point, Julio is like just rambling about how smart he is. And he's like, that's why I get these migraines, because my brain is too big for my skull. And then later on, Luis is talking to him. And he's like, oh, Julio, I Googled if your migraines have anything to do with how smart you are. And my research concluded that you're just a dumbass who gets headaches. It's just like, it's like, oh my God, they're all the worst, but I love them. And they're all so funny.
It's amazing.
It's one of those shows that sometimes I'll talk about a show and it's like, oh, the deeper message is just so like, it hits me in the heart. And this show made me cry. And it's like, no, this fool is just really funny in a really clever way that also feels stupid. And I adore it. And I hope they never stop it. It's so, Gaby, you gotta watch. Like, if there's,
Season
I know you
2.
saw the first season before I did.
I saw the season.
So like, if there's anyone who I was like, I watched the show and I'm like, Gaby will love this. We have a white dude trying to speak Spanish.
Oh no! Was it giving Drake? Drake recently?
No, it's like comically bad, like written comedy bad.
Okay.
He's talking to Julio's mom about, the dude's talking about his grandma. He's like, mi gam gam es un poquito pollo loco.
He said pollo loco. He's just trying to say loco.
Yeah, it's like, Jesus. Great show, very funny. If you want to laugh, I definitely recommend it, but you have to have a tolerance for just like
stupidity.
Nonsense.
Yeah.
But like really clever nonsense, which is, it feels like an oxymoron, but somehow it works.
I
But
have all these migraines.
You're just a dumbass who gets headache. Great show. It's on Hulu. Give it a shot. It's like 10 episodes. They're all like half an hour. Easy work.
Yep.
But yeah, that's what I've been watching.
Gaby, what you been watching?
Oh God. Because I've literally been watching nothing else. But please don't judge me. I've been watching The Big Bang Theory. And it was mostly for Sheldon and Amy's relationship. Like I saw a clip of her like being like, Sheldon, you can't just buy me back with jewelry. And then he like gives her a tiara and she's like, oh my God, a tiara. And I was like, I want to see this relationship progress. So
I was made to watch an episode of that last month.
How did that happen?
Spec Scripts.
Writer's room.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. Listen, it's just a multicam sitcom.
Yes.
There's nothing special about
It is
it.
a multi-cam sitcom.
Yeah, the jokes are not clever.
Wow.
I'm mostly here at this point for comfort.
Are you rewatching it or are you watching it for the first time?
So at this point, I'm watching all of these episodes for the first time.
Okay.
I think in college, I was like watching it and I think I saw up to season 6 or something.
Okay. You got
Yeah,
pretty far.
And then I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. Or they were at season 6 and I was like, I'm not going to keep up with it.
Fair.
I was made to watch the episode where Sheldon needs a ride places.
Mm.
And he doesn't have a license.
He always needs a ride place.
Yeah, no. But the whole episode is basically just that. And because his roommate is like staying at Caltech to do like some science research or something like that.
That must have been from season 1.
I don't know when it was. I was like, oh, you guys are so lucky you guys chose this one because A, there are Star Wars sheets involved, and B, they're driving around Pasadena.
Oh yeah, and
so
the backgrounds are Pasadena.
And I was like, oh, I know where that is. I know where that is.
Yeah,
I know where that is.
No. I was gonna mention that all the street names they use are Pasadena accurate. All the restaurants they use are Pasadena. All of the backgrounds when they're driving are Pasadena.
Yeah, I was like, ooh, I know exactly where you are.
And City Hall is in their window. You can see City Hall from their window. That said,
living at Paseo sounds awful.
Huh? Wait, what?
I said living at Paseo sounds awful.
Oh, that is where they live.
That would be, they'd have to be living at Paseo.
Oh, that makes sense. From the angle, I was like, what?
Yeah, for City Hall to be there.
And they mentioned they're on Los Robles. Yeah, it is Paseo. Oh, why didn't I realize?
I'm not even watching the show.
I feel so dumb. I've been trying to figure out where they live. Is it above the 210, below? You have to be able to see City Hall through their window. It's Paseo. Except like with Paseo with like a broken elevator. Whatever.
All right.
Yeah. It is what it is. I'm not proud of this. It just is.
What an apathetic what you watching segment.
As like a gigantic nerd, I judge them a lot because I'm like, nerd culture is like, it's mainstream now. I mean, it wasn't when the show started, but now it's very mainstream. 1. And 2, like very few people that are nerdy are this bad.
And you got to dramatize everything on TV.
Yeah, that's true. And it's fine. It's a good, actually, it's not a good show.
Jesus.
It's fine.
You are making people mad out there. I know it.
I'm having a good time watching it at this point because I like the characters. But I'm not going to sit here and talk about how great. It's not like when I was watching Modern Family, I was like, this show is still hilarious.
It's a really good show.
These characters have held up. There was only one character that I was like, I don't like what they did with this character. Everyone else, I was like, I love where this is going. This quality's great. The jokes are still hilarious. Big Bang Theory, I don't know if they're still telling jokes. It just seems like a rhythm thing, which I've heard about the show before.
I've heard that Big Bang Theory is just has really, really good sitcom rhythm.
Yeah. So like,
that's actually like, why they were
supposed to laugh.
That's why they were showing it to me, is because it's a really good sitcom to study to learn how to write sitcoms.
Yeah, it gets to the point and the plot very quickly, but I'm not gonna say that it's like, the kind of quality we had from like Modern Family for like 12 plus years. But I am like having a good time.
That's good.
I'm just not. It's not this fool. It's not Atlanta. Right. It's not it's not highbrow. It's a multicam sitcom, and just turn your brain off and watch it. And that's what I do. And also my baby finds it boring, so it's easy to put her to sleep to it.
Oh,
she only likes the music for it. So I have like a 20-minute window. She likes the intro music and the outro music.
That show puts me to sleep too.
Wow.
But hey, if you want to watch a really good show in Pasadena, Shrinking is on Apple TV. And it's
Shrinking. And that one's also very Pasadena heavy.
Yes.
That's more Pasadena heavy than Big Bang Theory, which I didn't realize how much Pasadena was in Big Bang Theory until I started watching it. And I was like, well, they bring this up a lot.
That's why we have an alley named after it. So
yeah. So my friend lived in England for like 6 months in college, and she said, she was like, I don't want to tell people I'm from LA. I'm just going to specify Pasadena and they can Google it. But the responses was, she's like, I'm from Pasadena, and they'd be like, from Big Bang Theory. So
I don't know if that's better.
You'd be like, yes, like Big Bang.
All right, continuing the comedy talk. I just finished watching The Sex Lives of College Girls, which is created by Mindy Kaling and Justin Noble, and it stars Pauline Chalamet, Amrit Kaur, Aaliyah Chanel Scott, and Renee Rapp.
Which is Timothée Chalamet's sister. I just wanted to throw that out there.
I figured as much with the last name Chalamet.
Yeah.
And the IMDb synopsis is 4 18-year-old freshman roommates at Essex College in Vermont. A bundle of contradictions and hormones, these sexually active college girls are equal parts lovable and infuriating. That's fair.
All right.
That is absolutely fair. Yeah, I started watching this show. What was my reasoning for watching this show?
Was it Renee Rapp?
I think it was Renee Rapp.
What is it? Big tits and a big heart or something like that?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, good tits and a big heart.
Tits and a big heart.
I just want some recognition for having good tits and a big heart.
So I started listening to her music, and one of the guys in the writer's room watches
the show.
or had watched it. And he had never heard her sing, but he knew who she was because of her role on the show. And I was like, do you think I'd like it? And he was like, yeah, go for it. I didn't realize it was a comedy when I started watching it. It's hilarious. Absolutely hysterical. Like from the jump when it started, the first few jokes, I was like, oh, this is a comedy.
Okay.
And it's very funny. I've really enjoyed watching it. There are only 2 seasons so far. They are making a season 3. I really like the quartet of girls that we are living with on this show. I also, after I started it, one of the guys in the writer's room had me watch Never Have I Ever. I showed him the pilot for The Sex Lives of College Girls, and he showed me the pilot for Never Have I Ever because we were just looking at comedies and kind of researching. And it's just really interesting because it does feel like Mindy Kaling has like these particular characters that she writes that are like stand-ins for her, like she's just pulling from her own personal experiences for, and that's what the character Bella feels like, because Bella is like the Indian roommate, but she wants to be a comedian. And so she's like obsessed with like SNL and like knows comedic history really, really well. And I was just like, oh, I don't really know Mindy Kaling that well, but this feels like this is like who Mindy Kaling probably is.
Ooh, in college, so Mindy Kaling, she went to Dartmouth. In college,
that feels very apt for what Essex College is supposed to be.
I was gonna mention. And then she was, I think she did improv, and she also wrote a show with her friend because I think their school was, or she is from Boston or something like that. But basically, she wrote a 2-man play where she and her friend played Ben Affleck and Matt Damon. And it was like the script to Good Will Hunting just appears in their living room.
Oh my gosh.
That's the play.
But it was like, it's also really interesting with Bella though, because Bella's storyline in certain ways reminds me of Dear White People because she wants to join the really big comedy magazine on campus. And I was
giving like Harvard Lampoon.
And I'm like, oh, it's like Dear White People when Troy wanted to join their big college, but it's also like sexist and racist and all that stuff because it's an old white school.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there's Bella. I love Whitney, who's played by Aaliyah Chanel Scott, and she is the jock in the room. Okay. She's the jock roommate. She plays soccer, and her mom is a senator.
Oh, wow.
Which is fantastic. Her mom is played by Sherry Shepherd.
Ooh.
Absolutely hilarious. It's so funny. But Whitney's like the soccer kid. And then in the second season, she doesn't have to play soccer because the season's over. So it's her trying to figure out like what she wants to do with her life, what she's actually interested in outside of soccer.
Right.
And it's so fun because she becomes a biochem nerd.
Ooh.
Okay.
Which is like crazy. Usually the jock isn't a nerd. She's both. And it's a lot of fun to like kind of subvert that in there. We have Kimberly, who's played by Pauline Chalamet, and her character comes from like a really small town. She comes from like a poor family. So, you know, I think Bella's more like a middle class kind of kid. And then you have Whitney and Leighton, who are rich. And then you've got Kimberly, who is kind of poor and just kind of trying to figure out her way through like this really, really rich, wealthy campus lifestyle.
Right.
And like she's like on scholarship and stuff like that. So you have that sort of perspective. And also like when the show starts, she's a virgin and like she's never slept with anybody before. And she's like she's got a long-term boyfriend and all that sort of stuff. And things go a little haywire. And then we have Leighton, played by Renee Rapp.
She's why you watch the show.
Yeah. But the funny thing is, I also love Leighton. And one of the things I also really love about Leighton is her relationship with Whitney because they're both the two rich girls. And so they get to bond over rich girl shit.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Which is great. But also because she starts out as like the rich mean girls trope. Where like she needs everything to kind of go her way and she's kind of mean about it. But she's also a math major, which I consistently forget until she brings it up. And I'm like, how are you this nerdy?
But like me in high school.
Yeah, but you also come to realize that she's actually a lesbian. She's queer, but she's in the closet. And she's very, very, very in the closet.
Oh, goodness.
The baby is fascinated by
Clearly,
that
that's my child. Just so, also saying ooh.
Yes, Leighton is my favorite. I love Leighton, which is gonna suck because Renee Rapp is leaving the show after season 3.
Dang it, it's because she's too famous.
No, it's because she wanted to focus on her music, which good for her because her music is popping off right now. So it was a good choice on her part to make that decision. But yeah, she's gonna be in season 3 in a recurring capacity, and then she'll be leaving the show. Her storyline is so fun because it's interesting watching her gain the courage to like come out, even then, like, it's not so much courage to come out so much as like, I'm miserable. And then when she does finally come out, like, what comes of that is equal parts hysterical and chaotic. And it's great. It's such a good show. I also really like the way that they do their supporting characters, because they've got supporting characters who are friends with our lead four. You know, like, they know different people in different areas of their life. You know, Kimberly's got a job, so she's got coworkers. Whitney is on a soccer team. She's got teammates. You know, teammates and stuff like that. Like, they all have different people. Layton ends up working at a women's center. So she's got people that she makes friends with there. So they have different people that they're friends with in different areas, as well as being friends with one another as roommates. But then they go to like college parties, and you'll see the supporting characters in these college party scenarios. So like when Layton tells her friends that she came out to somebody, it's not just her three roommates. It's also like one of the other supporting characters who happens to know her because she knows her through the roommates, and is also very supportive because they're friends through other people. It feels authentic to being in college, of like, oh, I know you and you know this person, so now we're kind of friends because you know that person. And like, you kind of are informed on my life because you're so like kind of integrated into it, even though we're not like best friends, but you are a friend. And I really like that aspect of the show. They do a really good job with their supporting characters and bringing them in and around these characters.
Nice.
It's a lot of fun. So yeah. And then, you know, it's also about college girls and their sex life. So if you're also interested in that, there's that.
That is the title.
That is the title. It gets real weird trying to like Google that sometimes, though, because it's like, this could something, anything.
You could probably start it with like Mindy Kaling, the sex life of
Max,
college girls.
The sex life of college
Or
girls.
Max, yeah.
But yeah, that's always a frightening Google search, because I'm like, this could go anywhere.
If you really want to challenge yourself, take the safe search off. Then Google
Sir.
sex life of
I
college
feel
girls.
like my safe search is already
Also,
off.
safe search is always off. What are you talking about?
That's fair. Mine is too.
Oh my goodness. But yeah, that's the sex life of college girls, which I started because I'm currently in a Renee rap phase. So.
Yes, you are.
I am. Wait till Mean Girls comes out, guys. Oh boy.
What is it? You're gonna be sick of me.
Oh, you guys are gonna. I'm not gonna apologize for the person that I become when Mean Girls comes out. Anyway, news and trailer tracking.
Yes, we have some trailers.
That's it.
We have no news.
Yeah, there's no news.
Just the trailers.
Just trailers.
Book of Clarence. I've been waiting, and it's here. Oh my God, James Samuel's back. For those who don't know, James Samuel made The Harder They Fall. He directed it, wrote it, he composed for it, put a song on the soundtrack, he did everything.
He's one of those people. One of those directors.
Yep.
And somehow, that was his featured directorial debut.
Which is wild, because that movie is amazing.
So
that movie should have been Oscar nominated. I don't know why it wasn't.
I completely agree.
Racism.
There are a lot of feature debuts that I see that I'm like, this is Oscar worthy and go nowhere. Like Little Woods.
Yeah, but The Harder They Fall.
Yes, the baby agrees with us. It was robbed. But yeah, Book of Clarence.
It's a biblical story.
Yes.
Quote unquote.
Borderline.
I mean, no, technically it is.
It has Jesus in it.
It is a biblical story in the sense that it takes place in biblical times, and not in the sense that it is from the Bible.
And there's like cameos by Jesus, it looks like.
I'm so excited about that.
Dude. Apparently he's an earthbender.
No, more importantly, apparently he's black, and I'm very happy about it.
Yeah,
100%.
I mean, that seems accurate. That seems historically accurate.
You gotta have a black Jesus.
It's more accurate than the ones we've gotten.
He definitely was not white.
Also, this thing that I've been saying to anyone who will listen is that in The Harder They Fall, RJ Kyler's character has a line where he quotes the Book of Clarence.
Yes.
Which is not a real book. And
then
Eddie Gathegi is like, Clarence ain't no book. And RJ's in this movie, and I'm so happy. Lakeith, RJ, Anna Diop, Alfre Woodard, James McAvoy, Tiana Taylor.
Yes.
Like,
it's a very good cast.
Dude,
cast is fire.
I'm excited.
Soundtrack list looks fire.
It looks very funny. Here's the thing. I really like.
She's excited.
Oh yeah, she's excited to hear what I have to say.
So sorry.
The thing about James Samuel that I really like is that. So I talk about Jordan Peele. He like has created a corner of horror for Black people. And what I like about James Samuel is that he does something similar where he seems to bring Black people into genres where most people would not put us.
Right.
Which is great. I love that. That's what I want to do with fantasy and sci-fi. That's like my thing. I love that. And so at first it was Westerns. This one, it is during biblical times.
Right.
Biblical epic.
The sword and sandal movie with Black people.
Yeah, which is, it looks fun. It looks just as good as The Harder They Fall. Like it feels like it has all of his trademarks in it that we saw in The Harder They Fall, but we're just in a different time period.
I'm so excited. Just because like when I saw the trailer for The Harder They Fall, I thought that looks amazing, and I bet it will be.
Yep.
but nothing could have actually prepared me for how I felt when I actually left the movie.
Yeah.
It's like, I knew this would be great, and it was, but still somehow way better than I expected. Expectations were through the roof, and it jumped over all that. And I'm expecting this to do the same thing. So yeah, I'm super hyped.
It looks great. I'm super excited about this one.
It looks great.
On to the
I
next
know that's a good transition.
next
but-
desert movie.
Yes, in the desert. Furiosa, a Mad Max saga?
Yes.
Saga, yes.
Because all the other movies are Mad Max movies.
Yes, and this one is called
is not-
Furiosa.
Yeah, this is about Furiosa and not about Mad Max himself. I'm so excited. Here's the thing. I forgot how much I love Mad Max Fury Road until I watched this trailer, and it all just
It just came back to you.
surged through me, and I was like,
it was real good.
I can't believe I didn't anticipate being this excited. I was watching the trailer and I was like, oh my gosh, we're back. We're back, people. We're back. We're back. Oh, what a day. What a lovely day. Like, we're back.
It is very, like, if you like Mad Max Fury Road, this is for you.
And I think Mad Max Fury Road is a masterpiece. It is one of my favorite action movies of all time. In my opinion, one of the greatest action movies that's ever been made. And George Miller is just, what he did with Fury Road, just, masterful. Just, God, guys, we have a throwback about it. You guys can go listen to us talk about it. We do, and I'm sad that it was before we were doing reactions.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, we could still do a reaction.
It's true.
It would just be a reaction, though. We wouldn't talk about it after. We would just do a reaction. But here's the thing. I like Mad Max. I've seen all of
the old ones?
I've seen all the Mad Max movies, one all the way down to Fury Road. I've even written an essay about one of the Mad Max movies because it was about Australian New Wave.
Right.
And I like those movies, but Fury Road, man.
There's nothing like Fury Road.
Man.
Although I haven't seen the other Mad Maxes, but like
those movies aren't even anything like Fury Road.
which
Like
is wild.
they're good, but
So I guess it makes sense because, what are they, like 80s, 70s?
80s.
yeah.
Question: George Miller, did he direct those other ones?
Mm-hmm. He's done all of them.
And Happy Feet.
And Happy Feet.
And
Lorenzo's Oil, apparently.
Talk about range.
Range. The Mad Max movies themselves are a little bit of range as well because, like, Thunderdome is campy and a little silly.
Yeah.
And that's not, those aren't words I would use to describe Fury Road at all.
Gotcha.
This is one of those movies where I'm not only excited about seeing the movie itself, I'm excited to hear the behind the scenes stories of making the movie. Because the last one had it was so much drama, but also the technology and everything that was done to actually make the movie is also so well done. So like it's an equal, like, yeah, there was drama, but also they decided to do this to make this part. Like they didn't shoot any of their night scenes at night. They're all shot during the day,
right.
But they're shot with a particular type of camera, and then you color grade it in a certain way, and then you do this, and it's just like, this is amazing. This is spectacular. There was a night scene in this trailer, and I was like, they did it again. Like, I'm so excited.
He's doing all the hits.
Listen, when I sent it in the group chat, I said, "We're back, baby."
Yeah.
I like knew it was Chris Hemsworth, but also like didn't recognize him.
The nose really will change an entire face.
It changed his whole face and the beard.
Oh yeah, the beard. But like
The nose beard combination was a lot.
Yes. Yeah. I'm like, yeah.
Also, I think this is the first movie I've ever seen where he actually uses his Australian accent,
Which is wild.
I also noticed that. I was like, oh, right. That's what you sound like.
right? Yeah.
Oh yeah, I forget.
Because even in Thor, he's not using his accent.
He's
not even a little bit. Trying to think of Chris Hemsworth movies. He don't have his accent.
I don't think I've ever seen him use his accent in any of these movies, which is great though, because like Mad Max movies are, in my opinion, they are inherently Australian movies.
Yeah,
because the director's Australian. They had such a big impact on Australian filmmaking, just in general.
And Australia is a place where everything wants to kill you. So.
And they filmed it. They film it in Australia.
I think
they filmed all of them except for maybe Fury Road in Australia.
I think Fury Road was like somewhere in Africa.
Yeah, I think all of them were shot in Australia except for Fury Road, funny enough.
Right.
Fury Road also introduced me to one of my favorite Australian actresses, so.
Race play.
Stop it.
It's her though,
Dallas.
right?
That's not her name.
What's her name?
Abby
Lee. That's my favorite running joke.
Shut up.
Yeah, what are your thoughts on Furiosa? Are you excited?
Yeah, what a transition.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited. I, for some reason, forgot that it wasn't going to be Charlize Theron.
I am sad that it's not.
Yeah, me too.
This also might be the first time I see Anya Taylor-Joy and like, oh, no, not the first time. It's like the second time I've seen her in something that I'm super excited about.
What was the first one?
The Menu.
She's so good.
Yeah. I haven't
seen her in a lot of stuff. That's the problem.
Everything I've seen her in, she's really good.
She's fine. It's like the Florence Pugh effect with you. She's finally now doing stuff that I'm really interested in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just excited. I like her as an actress. Again, mildly disappointed it's not Charlize, but I'll live with it. And I'm glad that it's George Miller. I was afraid it wasn't going to be George Miller. I just forgot how sort of wacky some of the like zoom ins were in Mad Max because you saw them in the trailer here, and I was like, there it is.
He's having a fun time.
It's gonna be a little wacky, but yeah, exciting. Excited.
Nice.
I hope George Miller gets an Oscar this time because last time he won, Mad Max Fury Road won so many things.
It won like
And
6
it's-
Oscars.
Yeah, and it just every other Oscar it was like Mad Max Fury Road, Mad Max Fury Road.
I will
and
say,
I was like, why did George Miller should have won Best Director by default? Like,
I will say I was a little disappointed that they won costuming, not because the costuming wasn't phenomenal. It was just the same year that Cinderella was nominated, and that dress is still one of the greatest dresses in cinema history.
yeah, I'll give you that. It was a good.
It's a great dress. Anyway,
Yeah, it won like so many Oscars.
It did.
Mad Max Fury Road.
it was nominated
Like,
for so many, won so many.
yeah, like it won like more. I think half, if not more than half of the Oscars it was nominated for, which is wild.
That sounds familiar.
Like, and especially when you're like, Mad Max was winning, but it was so good.
It came out the year that I started working at ArcLight.
Yeah.
And that's when I started being surrounded by people talking about the Oscars.
Mm-hmm.
So like 2014 and before, I was just able to ignore it and go about my business. But then, I started working with people like Bailey,
Yeah.
Dion. Shout out to y'all. They're just like, oh my God, did you see won the best sound mixing, editing, makeup, costume award?
Yeah.
I was like,
Well,
no, man.
Funny enough, Cassie, who does not really care so much about technical aspects of filmmaking whatsoever, is very excited that the editor from
saw
Fury
that.
Road is Margaret Sixel, I believe is her name. She's George Miller's wife. She's very excited about her coming back to edit it. She won the Oscar for Best Editing for Fury Road. Like, he hired her, and she was like, why would you want me to edit it? Why don't you get somebody else? And he was like, well, if I got a man to edit it, it would look like every other action film that's ever been made. They would cut it the same. I want it to done by a woman because your perspective will be different on how it should be cut.
And he was right.
I honestly had to double check that those messages weren't from you. Because seeing someone talk about, oh, I'm so excited that this editor's back. I was like, that's Demi. I was like, Cassie?
It was not me this time.
Cassie, where did you even learn this person's name? Cassie is the queen of, it looks like a movie.
Exactly,
So
right?
I was so shocked.
I think what's funny is me and her actually went to go see that one together. We went to see Fury Road together. Me, her, and my
Nice.
dad had to sit in row B in like
Ooh.
house
God.
12.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
God.
Well, yeah, a
That
lot of people
sounds-
went to see that movie.
What was crazy was it was like 8 weeks in.
Yeah.
It was still just
Well-
we played that movie
Forever. I remember
because
that.
it was still popular.
I
Yeah.
remember.
People were still
Movie
going.
It was
never
like
left.
back in the day when like Harry Potter would be in theaters for 3 months.
But like people were still going to see it when it came out on Blu-ray. And then not only were they still seeing it when it came out on Blu-ray, we took it out of theaters like a few weeks after that, only to put it back in about a month later because it got nominated for the Oscars.
Yeah.
I remember being so annoyed because it was around, like,
If you're like
After a
tired
certain
of the
point-
music.
no, just after a certain point, you're like, okay, things will slow down. Y'all niggas will stop buying tickets.
Mad Max
I can have
never.
a small little house. Like, y'all are still buying tickets for Mad Max, bro. It's Tuesday. Go home.
They were seeing that movie non-stop.
Go to work.
It
Y'all
was
ain't got
giving
jobs.
Star Wars.
It never stopped.
It was ridiculous.
But that's how good that movie
2015 was a
was
rough year
really
to work
good.
in a movie theater.
was. 2015 was
Yeah.
a rough year.
Jurassic World came out.
Star Wars came
Freaking Star
out.
Wars came out. Got war flashbacks. Anyway,
Mad Max.
is that everything?
I think me and Dallas at the same time went into like a PTSD like
I
flashback.
think so.
What a
They
time.
both like looked down and
We
were
both
like
looked into
wide-eyed.
space.
All
Our
right.
friend Malia's on the couch just shaking her head. Like,
Seeing brooms and butlers in my nightmare.
we're gonna
Anyway.
write a sitcom about all this.
So, yes, we've been talking for a while, so I'm going to rush through some fan comments. Fan might be a strong word. I'm going to rush through some comments. On YouTube, we have one from our Chronicles of Prydain fan cast from Devin Moran.
Nice.
Or Morin, I don't know. Says, Jacob Tremblay, yes please, smiley face. He would be the perfect Terran. He is just amazing.
Thank you.
We agree. Jacob Tremblay is amazing. To me, at least knows something about that character and says yes.
I mean, I chose him, so.
Yeah, you got it. Another comment from our Top 5 Tuesday for video game adaptations we want. Comment from someone named Storm Shadow. Sounds intense.
Love that.
I'm going to read this exactly as it's written. If there are any gaps in like context, fill in the blanks. I wouldn't watch Tony Hawk American Wasteland, LOL. That would not work. A good imagination. I think Hades could be a good animated series, not a live action. That would be a lot of CGI. Gaby likes skateboarding. Ha, interesting. I don't think Gaby was in that
not in that
episode.
episode. That was me.
I think they're thinking about you. I was like, does Gaby like skateboarding? You a woman, you Gaby.
I don't blame them though because Gabby's the one who is in the logo and I am not.
See, this is why our marketing is confusing. Everybody.
It wouldn't be confusing if Gaby were in more episodes.
Sorry.
Fair point. All right, Storm Shadow, it's Demi. Demi likes skateboarding.
I do.
Sure, I can't know.
skateboard, but I do like skateboard.
Yeah, we all grew up watching Rocket Power.
It's my favorite Olympic sport.
I guess it is.
Fair.
It is.
And our most important comment is from Facebook on our Goosebumps reel from Malaya.
Hey.
She said, Twilight Zone was my intro to horror. Smiley face.
Aww.
And yeah, Twilight Zone slaps.
I've never seen.
That's a great intro to horror.
I was like in middle school watching the shows of a 65-year-old man watching old Twilight Zone episodes from like 1965.
On Turner Classic Movies or
whatever channel it was on. Rod Serling was that dude back then.
Mm-hmm.
I have maybe seen 1 or 2 episodes of the
really
old
good.
Twilight Zone.
And I think you would like it because you love old ass stuff.
There's also a lot
Mostly.
of like
Not all of
stuff
it.
where you're like, oh, that's where that comes from.
They make a lot of references to Twilight Zone stuff now.
I love discovering where like references come from though, because then I'm like, oh, okay.
There's a man on the wing of the plane. That's the one. That's the big one.
That's one of the ones. Also, it's like pretty stereotypical, but it's like there's one where like everyone's ugly, and then like the person that's like stereotypically like 1960s beauty's like, I'm hideous.
Good
Give
episode.
me more plastic surgery.
Yes. Gabby spoiled the ending, but
I'm so sorry.
it's a very good episode.
Listen, I don't know what I'm getting around to that show.
But yes, great show. I would recommend it. Malaya has exquisite taste. Just like that. We done did it.
Keep commenting, guys. We love hearing from you.
Yeah. We can say what
Up
you said.
Our engagement.
We love that.
We love engagement,
Let's
please.
be engaged. Thank you, audience, for listening to all of that fun stuff. Thank you, Crown Digital, Brandon, and Io for putting us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. To me, thank you for editing, putting us on YouTube, being the person who actually saw these movies today. Somebody had to do it.
I try my best.
Thank you, Gabby, for coming through for the vibes, like me.
You're welcome.
Audience, what'd you think of Wish and or Renaissance? Are you loving all this black girl magic?
I am.
Yeah. Are you like to me? Are you... I can't make the anti-black joke here because I didn't watch the movies either.
Yeah, exactly.
And then I'd be self-incriminated.
Hey, Disney, keep making black girl magic movies. How about that?
The baby
The baby
agrees.
agrees.
The little black baby also
Little black
agrees.
baby agrees.
Yeah.
You can let us know all these things on Twitter at y'all_different or Instagram and Tumblr at Creative Differences Podcast or Facebook.com/Creative Differences PC or TikTok at Creative Differences Pod. I'm sorry, they're all different because some of them are taken. Talk to me about James Daniel. He's great, and I don't know why he's so good at stuff. I'm on Twitter at King Dan Simba. I'm also on Instagram at the same thing.
You can find me, Gabby, on the Instagrams at Stegosaurus.
If you guys want to talk to me about Willow, Black Girl Magic, or Renee Rapp, you guys can find me on Twitter or Instagram. You guys can find me on Twitter at Demi_Joie. Joie is spelled Joie. Or you guys can find me on Instagram at Dreamy Films. Dreamy is spelled DREEMI. Thanks again for joining us. Tune in next time. I actually don't know what we're doing next time, but it'll be fun to find out.
I have no idea.
Woo!
All right. Also, if you want to find Cassie and yell at her for missing this episode, you can find her on Twitter at halfblackgirlmagic.
Love it.
Thank you.
Hey.
Yeah, it works. It really works. All right, it's been different. Sorry about the baby. Bye.
Bye. Sorry about my baby again. Bye.
All right, question for Demi. This is,
Oh, God.
I don't know if it's a splash zone.
Okay.
That'll be up to you how you respond.
Jesus.
Who's your favorite white woman out of these two? Is it Big Tits, Big Heart, or Race Play?
Dallas.
Stop it. We can't use this as a tag.
Fine, Renee Rapp or Abby Lee. Who's your favorite?
Just like, don't make me choose. But also, my current hyperfixation is Renee Rapp.
It's accurate.
That works. That works. I figured that would be the answer.
She didn't even have to answer.
It really depends on what you're asking me for.
Fair.
Because I've seen more of Abby Lee's acting work.
Oh,
But-
yeah, that makes sense.
But Renee Rapp's music,
Yeah.
she understands me, and I don't understand why.
Fair.